So the front row of the grid now, Ron Haslam on the far side, Wayne Gardner next to him, Gary Lingham out, Keith Ewan on the Honda, then Mark Sowell, and you can see Keith Ewan edging forward, Itchy on the Cook finger, and away they go, and a wheelie from Ron Haslam. It's Haslam on the left of your picture, number 9. He's made the rocket start in every Grand Prix this year, and he's done it again. Keith Ewan is there behind him. So, and a real desperate struggle up there. Chris Guy in the thick of things. Good to see him a little bit back on form again. And it's Haslam out in front. Ron Haslam, the leader. Keith Ewan there in second place as they go down. Crane occurs for the first time. Well, an excellent start for Ron Haslam on this first lap. Keith Ewan on the private Honda in second place.
And Keith Ewan complained that the wind was very blustery in practice, and so all the riders, I'm sure, will be feeling things out this first lap to see how the wind has affected them. It tends to wash out the front wheel if they're not very careful, peeling off into the corners.
Ron Haslam on the factory Honda in the lead. Keith Ewan in second place. It looked like Steve Parrish in third spot as they went through. Glimpse there of Chris Guy again, distinctive orange fairing. And coming up to the chicane for the first time in this race, it's Ron Haslam going through and Roger Marshall in all sorts of trouble there. But there's Keith Ewan in second place. Then it's Wayne Gardner in third spot. So Gardner in third position.
Steve Parrish fourth and Joey Dunlop fifth.
That's Ewan being chased by Wayne Gardner. And those two, second and third men in your picture. There's the man out in front. And, of course, these two men on almost identical Honda machines. Keith Ewan, who was with the Heron Suzuki team last year, elected to go privateer. He and the SDC building concern have spent a lot of money buying this Honda. And as you can see, Wayne Gardner right alongside him, but not alongside him for long. Nipped through on the inside. And now it's Gardner in pursuit of Ron Haslam, the man out in front. But as you can see, Ewan certainly hasn't given up the battle. Haslam, Gardner, Ewan. Under the bridge. Gardner, a look over his shoulder. That's the gap between the man in the lead. Going through the chicane now, that's Haslam, then it's Gardner, then it's Ewan. The end of the second lap, 16 more laps to go. Number 8, Gardner. And Keith Ewan's back wheel. There's that's number 6, Steve Parrish. Well, Steve going very well on a Yamaha, but certainly not as competitive as the more modern bikes ahead of him.
No, this is a 3-year-old machine that Steve Parrish is riding, and it's well outdated, but he certainly does go very, very well on it. And now we look back to the group led by Roger Marshall, battling for 5th and 6th place. Roger Marshall, Mark Sowell, and Mark Sowell closing up on the Works Honda rider now.
And that's Roger Marshall there, who was in 4th place. And a really desperate business there. Roger Marshall, number 11, who was in fact in 5th place. Roger Marshall in 5th spot.
And he's followed by Mark Sowell, and behind him, I think it was Roger Burnett.
Marshall, the leader of this group. Mark Sowell, number 4 behind him, and it is indeed Roger Burnett. And an interesting picture there with Roger Marshall leading that group in 5th place, and Roger Burnett 2 places behind his former mechanic. So Roger Marshall showing young Roger the way around. The leader under pressure now from Wayne Gardner. Haslam out in front. 3 laps completed.
And Wayne Gardner said just before the race that he hoped to beat Ron Haslam, but with his outing at the Dutch Grand Prix coming up, he didn't want to overstep the mark, and he would beat Haslam if he could, but riding within his limit.
And, of course, Ron also very much with Grand Prix prospects and commitments on his mind. But Gardner closes on him. Haslam, Gardner, really nasty, vicious twitch there.
And Gardner having a big slide from the back of the Honda, but he's pressing Ron very hard now. And thought about trying up the inside like he passed Keith Ewan a moment ago.
And News from the pits is that both Peter Linden and Chris Guy have pulled out. So Swede Peter Linden and Chris Guy out of the race as Haslam and Gardner battle for supremacy out in front. They're on their 4th lap. Well, Ron Haslam had the chance to ride the latest 4-cylinder Honda, decided that he'd not got enough time in practice to get it sorted out, and elected to use the 3-cylinder machine he's ridden for a great deal more time. Haslam number 9, 8 is Gardner.
And Parrish pressing Ewan very, very hard there, and Mark Saul has got in front of Roger Marshall.
Roger Burnett is next. And that's the battle for 3rd and 4th place between... And this is the scrap for the lead. Haslam number 9 being chased all the way by Wayne Gardner, the 23-year-old Australian. And Haslam stretches the gap there just a little bit, but Gardner winds him back in.
Haslam said that his works machines give him a better choice of gearbox ratios, and that makes it possible for him to do a better job up through that section of the track, from the old hairpin up to where we are now, starting the main straight.
Haslam knee dragging on the tarmac. Gardner, the same riding style behind. Less the machine's length between them as they go underneath the bridge into the chicane. They're coming round to complete 5 laps in this 18-lap battle. And Ron pulling over to the right-hand side of the track quickly, hoping that Gardner will miss the move and not get the slip-staining effect, but Gardner's right there with him into Redgate on their 6th lap. And Gardner looking for the inside line, but Ron had a better line, chops him off, and Gardner looking to go around the outside. Surely he won't do it. Well, sometimes you wonder whether Mr. Gardner's taken his brains out before he started or not.
He certainly is very aggressive. I mean, to get past there is absolutely almost unbelievable. I've never seen anyone pass in that situation, but Wayne very nearly managed it.
And Gardner showing the inside, showing his front wheel, but paying the penalty for it because Ron Haslam's been around a long time, and he just lobbed that Honda right across the front wheel of Wayne Gardner.
And of course Wayne then lost a lot of ground, as he did a few hundred yards further back when he made that mistake of trying to pass Ron in the wrong place before. I think Wayne will now settle down surely and try and pick his manoeuvring point a little bit more carefully.
So it's still number 9, Haslam, peeling over hard left, then hard right, well, in fact the other way around for the chicane. Then it's Haslam going through, 6 laps completed, 1/3 distance. Gardner, this is the scrap for 3rd place. Now we're seeing with Keith Ewan on the 1984 production Honda being chased by Steve Parrish on a bike that is affectionately known as Son of Slug.
Yes, Son of Slug, because it's so slow, but Steve seems to have got it going pretty well today, and that is in fact their spare engine, as he blew up his number 1 motor in practice this morning. So Steve doing an exceptional job on the old Yamaha, chasing number 16, Keith Ewan.
Keith Ewan then, number 16, holding off Steve Parrish on bike number 6. Well, Steve Parrish has been in this situation before in televised races from Donington Park. He's been sitting there in 3rd and 4th place before, and suddenly the front men have all gone missing. Well, no sign of the leaders in trouble this time. Steve Parrish very much in contention. This is the battle for the lead, coming round to complete 7 laps now through the chicane.
And Ron riding very conservatively here. He said he's chosen the Grand Prix tyres. Sometimes we see riders have tyre troubles at Donington. He's chosen a slightly harder compound in knowing that it will run the full distance without many problems. He has sacrificed a little bit in grip, but he seems to be riding well within his limits and have the race very well judged.
Haslam number 9, Gardner number 8, and the gap beginning to stretch a little bit. Whether this is because Ron has managed to find his rhythm and is stretching the gap over Gardner, or whether Wayne has decided to take things easy. Still a long way to go in this event, and Gardner presumably wanted to conserve his tyres a little bit for a challenge at the end.
Yes, and he's closing up a little bit now. I wonder if he did sort of give himself perhaps a bit of a fright and has sat back and thought about it and decided, I'm going to come with a better effort nearer the end of the race. He's closing again, number 8, closing on number 9, the leader, Ron Haslam.
Wayne Gardner, a man with Grand Prix ambitions of his own, had an excellent Grand Prix outing at the Italian Grand Prix early on in the year, and Haslam having trouble with a tail ender, but successfully puts the tail ender between himself and Gardner. This is the battle for third place coming into the chicane, and it's still Hewen ahead of Parrish. Now this is the battle for 5th and 6th place, still Roger Marshall on the Honda UK machine, being chased by Mark Sowell, the privateer, on his Suzuki 11 leading number 4. Roger Marshall, British champion last year and the year before, a very talented, experienced rider. Wheelers the Honda out of Redgate, going down through Hollywood and into Craner Curves. This is the battle for the lead, with again Ron Haslam pulling open something of a gap. Ron celebrating his 28th birthday on Friday, yesterday in fact, and this will surely be a very nice birthday present for him.
And Wayne, of course, has the disadvantage that he's now out of range of Ron Haslam's slipstream down the straight. The number 9 machine, the Works bike, is fractionally faster as it accelerates, and Wayne needs to be in the slipstream. If he's... Oh, big problem for Wayne. Arrived at the corner, just in the corner of their picture, at the same time as the tail ender, and I'm sure that's put him well offline.
And Wayne shakes a fist angrily at the man they've just lapped, which is a little bit unfair, because certainly the fellow had got no idea that Gardner was there, but you can see Gardner whining on the power viciously, the bike snaking, and that poor little man in the picture, Alfons Ammerschlager from Germany, has made life very difficult for Wayne Gardner.
Yes, he's lost contact. He's got to work very hard now, and as we see his back end sliding through the corners, it's obvious that he's riding on the limit anyway and has got very little left to give.
So again, Haslam using some track cunning to put the tail ender between himself and Wayne Gardner at a crucial moment. And there is Trevor Nation on the Heron. Well, Peter, perhaps a chance for you to talk about this bike.
Yes, this is an all-new British-built machine here using the Suzuki engine, but it's built by Heron. That's number 19 in the front of the picture, ridden by Trevor Nation. Built by Heron, the Suzuki importers. It has an aluminium frame, all built out of an aluminium sort of plywood type construction, but it has an aluminium sandwich with aluminium honeycomb in between, cut out on a bandsaw, 2 sides of the frame, then glued together, forming a unique motorcycle frame, never before. As you can see there, the white section of the frame just in front of his knee, that's a Formula 1 car style construction used for the first time in motorcycles.
The man chasing Trevor Nation there is Mark Urridge on his Suzuki. And they are at the moment down in 13th and 14th places, so not a very impressive performance,
but it's
from Trevor at the moment.
It's the first ever race for this machine, and it's really only being used as a test day to show how this machine will go.
Ron Haslam, number 9 on the Works Honda. I repeat, this is the 3-cylinder. Ron tested and tried the newer 4-cylinder bike in practice, then decided that really this is the bike he wanted to use for the race. 10 laps have gone now in this 18-lap race, and that's the gap between Haslam and Wayne Gardner. Haslam then, 11 laps gone now, 7 more to go. And we pick up now the battle for 3rd and 4th place, which has been going on throughout the race almost. Keith Hewen there, number 16. Steve Parrish behind him. Very good friends off the racetrack, but certainly both of them equally determined to grab that 3rd place if they can.
And it's the 3-cylinder Honda in front, the 3-cylinder reed valve machine being chased by the 4-cylinder Yamaha. Parrish running quickly through the corner there because he knows that the Honda will accelerate quicker out of the corner than his old machine, so he has to be on the pair in exactly the right position to be able to stay with Ewan as they accelerate out of the corner.
Keith Ewan from Wollaston in Northamptonshire. One of Britain's top privateers on the Grand Prix trail. He's grabbed some points this year on the World Championship scene. And Steve Parrish, too, has made his presence felt. And as you can see, Steve, as Peter was saying, coming very, very quickly out of corners so that the Honda can't pull away from him. Into the chicane. Wheel to wheel, nose to tail.
And Ewan there said this morning that he was having trouble because the blustery conditions were causing the bike to wash out on the front end in various parts of the track. The Hondas do have a very light front end, and Parrish may be using the fact that the Yamaha is heavier on the front end to keep track of his rival in these difficult conditions.
6 laps to go then, 12 laps already under the belt. Still Haslam out in front from Wayne Gardner. This is the battle for third and fourth place between Keith Ewan, number 16, and number 6, Steve Parrish. Roger Marshall is still in 5th place. Mark Sal, number 4, is still 7th. And the Finn, Eero Heverinen, has moved up into 7th place ahead of Roger Burnett. And again, Ron Haslam, and he can afford now to take his time. He's stretched quite an advantage as he comes up and catches Mike Lomas.
And Mike Lomas had a very nasty moment there. He almost lost it, and of course that is one of the dangers of passing tail-enders. Ron may be rising at an easy pace, but he comes upon people who are going perhaps faster than they should, and Mike Lomas nearly fell off in front of him.
Wayne Gardner there. And you can see Gardner's trying absolutely everything he knows. That bike is twitching and weaving, Peter.
Yeah, the back tyre is really having a hard time. Gardner has the power on so early that it's sliding all over the place. He certainly hasn't given up hope of chasing Haslam.
And it certainly gives a lie to the suggestion that he's taking things easy with an eye on next week's Dutch TT.
Oh, and he was sliding right to the edge of the track, yes. He doesn't, Wayne very rarely seems to take things easy.
No, definitely not in the nature of this 23-year-old Australian, a very talented rider. One of the best riders to hit the European scene for a long time, followed in the footsteps of another colonial, Graham Crosby. Hit the headlines on a sit-up and beg 4-stroke, of course.
And Wayne actually looking back down at his rear tyre there, he obviously can't do anything about it. He won't even be able to see anything, but perhaps he's even wondering whether it's gone flat, it's sliding around so much. And news from the pits is that Trevor Nation on that interesting Heron Suzuki project is in fact has pulled into the pits, so Trevor Nation pulled out of the race, and it looks as though Haslam has in fact lost a little bit of ground to Gardner, or vice versa, Gardner closer on Haslam now. Yes, it looks as though Gardner's pressing very hard as we flash back to the third place battle between Ewan and Parrish.
And Parrish goes to the inside line, and it looks as though Keith Ewan's got a problem.
Ewan unfortunately has had a tremendous amount of trouble with this production Honda this year, both front brake problems and gearbox problems. It's been breaking gearboxes for several Grand Prix, and it's just possible that he's hit a front brake or a gearbox problem again.
Well, Steve Parrish seized the opportunity, whatever the problem is, for Keith Ewan to go through into 3rd place. So it's number 6, Parrish, in 3rd spot, chased now by Keith Ewan. Maybe Ewan just missed a gear or something, because it looks as though he's getting back into the hunt again, Peter.
Yes, if that gearbox problem could have returned, and it makes him miss gears, and eventually it'll make him lose a gear. So, but he seems to be battling back at the moment.
Parrish, number 6. Keith Ewan, number 16. Parrish supported by the Mitsui concern, and Ewan seizes the moment to go out, accelerates. Steve Parrish under the bridge to go back into the lead on braking for the chicane.
And it didn't look like a brake problem because he was certainly late on the brakes there, so maybe he just had a momentary lapse.
So Ewan out in front, 15 laps now, successfully completed. The first 4 men, no changes. Haslam, Gardner, Ewan, Parrish, Roger Marshall and Mark Sal, so no change there in the top 6 places. 7th still, Eero Huverinen, the Finn. and then Roger Bennett, number 2. Certainly trying very hard indeed. Didn't bother to ride in the Yugoslavian Grand Prix, elected to come home instead to get sorted out in time for this meeting and to get ready for the Dutch TT and the Belgian Grand Prix over the next 2 weekends.
Harris running wide there as he tries to chase Hewen onto the straight. All so important for him to be on the tail of the Honda to catch the slipstream.
And that is Ron Haslam out in front, round Redgate, into Hollywood, down Trainer Curves, and certainly Ron Haslam riding as well as all his fans expect him to ride. He's been Britain's #1 Grand Prix rider this year, dives through on the inside of a slow man.
And you can see watching Ron that he doesn't appear to have any tyre problems at all. As he's accelerating, the back end just sits there on the road as he would wish it to.
And although you can see Ron leaning off the bike there, the knee dragging on the floor, the interesting thing at the moment is the fact is that he doesn't hang off the bike as much as Randy Mamola and Freddie Spencer do. And he's been having some handling problems that Spencer and Mamola don't have, simply because of their different riding styles. Haslam into the chicane again. Ron Haslam on the last lap. Haslam number 9 with just less than 1.9 miles to go. Passes Brett Hudson, the South African, having his first outing at Donington, and Brett seizes the opportunity to tuck in behind Ron, maybe to see where they can find the right line, Peter.
Yes, Brett, an ex-South African Superbike champion, much more used to the production Superbikes than these Grand Prix machines.
Haslam then, scarcely more than half a lap to go. And 15 more points apparently in the bag for Ron, barring mechanical problems or an incident into McLean's. Round Coppice.
He's very compact coming out of the corner, head and body still behind the screen, producing minimum wind resistance.
So it's a birthday present for Ron Haslam, 28 years of age yesterday, and Haslam through the chicane for the last time. The checkered flag goes out, and Ron Haslam adds victory in the second leg of the World of Sport Superbike Challenge to his win in the first round. Wayne Gardner again takes second place, a big wheelie from Wayne Gardner, and a wave to his many fans from Ron Haslam. We're waiting now to see who it's going to be third, and it's Keith Hewen and Steve Parrish a long way behind, having given up the strap in the last 2 or 3 laps. Haslam, though, the race winner, and he will be very pleased. Obviously made the right decision to park the V4 because he wasn't quite used to it. Elected to go for the 3-cylinder bike, and that was good enough to give him a win in this second round. So Haslam the winner, Wayne Gardner finishing in second place. Third home was Keith Hewen on the Honda. Fourth, Steve Parrish on the Yamaha. Fifth, Roger Marshall, the second Honda UK rider. Then Mark Sowell. Behind Mark Sowell, Eero Haverinen, Roger Bennett, Mick Grant, and Simon Buckmaster. So Ron Haslam the winner, and he'll be delighted with that. Another 15 points, and that gives him the maximum 30 points. But tomorrow he'll be helping Terry Haslam in the sidecar round of the European Championship.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris Carter, our commentator, who had Peter Clifford with him. Rocket Ron then winning the second round of the World of Sport Superbike Challenge. Wayne Gardner of Australia second, also on a Honda. Hindered sometimes during that race with the back markers. And Keith Hewen, also a Honda rider, in third place. Let's have a look at the overall standings after the 2 rounds. Well, Haslam maximum points, as you heard from Chris, 30 points there. Wayne Gardner in second place, 2 seconds in the series so far. Equal third, Roger Marshall and Keith Hewen.